and that sounded like Pilot Victor Glover on that comment.
Less than a minute now to that burn.
And at
Okay,
that
we're doing a
point, we're
burn. Okay,
expecting
entry
that loss
bird.
of signal. Am I right?
No, that's still a little
No.
ways away.
Oh no, sorry.
Yeah, that's
My
after
timing's
re-entry.
off. We are expecting it after re-entry though, for about
Ooh,
6
that's a
minutes.
jump.
We
Re-entry and
lost
splashdown. That
those
was a jump.
countdown
It wasn't that big
clocks.
before.
They've been there all along, and now all of a sudden they've gone.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. They're out of the way intentionally so we can focus on what's happening right now.
Well, I can
So,
hang on. I
little
can
under
dial it
17
back
minutes
really
of-
quick.
Also,
see-
someone said NSF nerdy space friends.
Here we go. We can see this. We can see the separation here.
Love
Guidance,
seeing these live
navigation,
views
and
from-
control officer here in mission control, confirming that we have good lock on GPS data.
There we go.
Good to hear.
That was one of the other things as well that they were looking at. They did not capture GPS data earlier. And so now they have a good log on the GPS. The capsule doesn't use the GPS when it's on the moon, right? But when it comes back to Earth and it needs to know where it's going to and doing those role reversals and guiding itself to the
See, the
splashdown
capsule
zone,
knows
it
where
does
it's
need the
going,
GPS.
and it knows
very
where it wants to
important
go.
for you to
So
lock
knowing
on
where
the
it wants to
GPS
go,
signal.
and then
So
calculating
that's good.
where it
That's
wants to go,
great.
surmounted by the
especially
encapsulator.
GPS 1 is accepting in nav channels 1 and 3.
All right.
So we are
So it's
expecting
surmounted
to
by the
lose this
turbo
imagery
encapsulator.
shortly,
Sorry,
am I
forgot
right?
about that.
When we
Yeah.
yeah, which we're ashamed to see.
So
Because
we
it knows
don't
where
know
it is,
if
and
we'll
it knows
still
where it
have
isn't.
visuals
And when
during
it
the
knows where it
actual
is and
separation
where it wants to
itself.
go versus where it knows where it
We can
isn't,
hope. Again, this
surmounted
is
by the
from the
turbo
solar array
encapsulator,
wings,
then the
on
capsule will
the
know
European
where it needs to
service
go
module.
as
There are
opposed to
4 of
where it
these
is right
saws.
now
Each
versus
one
where
has
it
the camera on the
doesn't want to
end.
go and
This is
versus
what's
where
been
it
helping
isn't.
provide the power,
Do you see?
the
It's really
propulsion,
honestly
a lot of
very
life
simple
support
science, Jeff.
systems, all coming from this European service module on the back. That will jettison away, and then once that is gone, the capsule is on its own.
Also, not only they have locked on GPS, but it's
Don't want to miss that.
basically,
Okay.
as Rob Navi said, spot on. Like it's basically down the middle.
It's
Right. Separation
okay. Let's
speed,
get to
right?
here.
So 1 minute, that's 100.
Space Agency.
See if we can
Four
find
of
the
them have
moment of
spent
separation
A
here.
little over 9.
Here we go. Here's the separation.
Standing by with you.
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh my gosh, we saw it.
Wow, that was rather violent.
There we go.
Okay.
Look at these views.
Wow.
These are live. Those were live views, not animations.
That was. Oh,
Look
wow.
at that. This from
Wow.
inside the
Live.
European service module.
That's
You can
impressive.
see the bit of the heat
Ember
shield there as
Paradox
Orion
is so
moves
cute.
away.
I can't handle it. She's
Orion
just so
now free
she's so
flying
cute.
on its own.
Ew.
Thank you, European Service Module, for all of your work helping to keep the crew alive.
Ugh.
All right.
That was
That is
great.
not the same blizzard that we were used to seeing from the toilet. That's just after the separation maneuver. Some of the
Hey,
lines.
let's go. Let's
Two
go back
different
live.
maneuvers, if you will. One of them will be what are called role reversals.
Well, no,
which
the
is,
module that they
I
just
sort of put
separated
the
from was
example before.
European,
If you were
not the
down on a
capsule.
straight road with your car, and so it'll come down, sort of like a first dip. It'll get up a little bit, very subtly out.
It's gaining.
but
It was
nothing
caught.
like
It,
Artemis
it's
1,
caught
and then
in
it'll come
the
back down.
in
That is
starting to
exactly,
enter probably
those
the
role
lower
reversals that I
the
was
lower
saying.
atmosphere.
2 on
Gravity
the
is
first
starting
dip,
to take
3 on
hold
the
of it.
second one. So that's more or less what he tries to do to bleed off all of that energy.
Exactly. Kind of like skimming a rock across the water, but that was more of the original Artemis 1 trajectory. This one, it will go in and then kind of like come up a little
Hey?
bit and then
Yeah.
go down the rest of the way.
A little smaller than yesterday.
Yeah, like right now the capsule's caught
Guess
in
I'll have to go
the
back?
Earth's gravity. That's why we're seeing the increase in speed. Once it, yeah, sorry, upper atmosphere. I said
On the
lower, didn't
nominal
I? I meant upper
situations, I
atmosphere.
see a lot
Sorry.
of people.
Yeah, that's why
writing
it's
you
picking
and
up
things
speed
like
the
that.
way it is. It's still
They're
in the
gonna hit
upper
about
atmosphere where
3.9
there's,
Gs on
but it's
re-entry
caught
via
in the Earth's
periods.
gravitational pull.
Yep.
But it's
And people asking
not
about how hot,
subjected to
they're expecting
Newtonian forces
about
yet.
5,000
not
degrees
Newtonian,
Fahrenheit. I believe it's about 3,000
fuck.
Celsius, or
What,
about half as hot as the surface of the
I
sun.
forgot the scientific principle. It's not
So that's
Newtonian.
the
It's
temperature reference there.
Oh
Hot.
shit. Well, yeah,
Very
it's
hot.
basically
And you can
Exactly,
see
yeah.
also that heads down.
oh my god, I'm
re-entry
blanking
attitude,
on like with
looking
air resistance.
sort of at
I'm
the
fucking
horizon
blanking
of
on
Earth,
the
right? So that
yeah.
they are
It
able
has
and
it is
aware
encountering air
of where
resistance
they
yet,
are,
and I'm
even if the display
blanking on the
units
scientific principle
failed,
involving air resistance.
which of course
Bitten.
we don't expect that to happen.
Oh, I don't know if it's the
But, you know,
Bernoulli
they're always aware
principle.
of where the horizon is, which
It's
is very
almost
important.
like
Again, they're doing those role reversals, rolling one way or the other, right? Rotating either to the left, counterclockwise, I guess, or
it's like
clockwise to the right.
is it Einstein?
And so that's very important.
No, it's not. No,
Exactly.
it's not.
So
Shit.
yeah, that's why the windows are pointed downward. It's
No,
sort of
it's
a
not terminal boss. It's like
backup
we're
there.
seeing the increase in
Yep.
speed
So, of
because
course,
there's no
we
air
will
resistance.
wait to
It might.
see, hopefully, the
Maybe
view
I am
from
thinking of
those,
Newton's third law. Maybe
helicopters
that's what I am
that have
thinking
the
of. Is
cameras on board.
Newton's
The
third law. I was maybe. I guess I was
WV-57
right
is
the first
out and
time.
But
Ooh, it's
also,
rotating.
we will be keeping an eye on the
So
view
yeah,
from
the
space.
reason why
This
it's picking up
live
speed is
look
because there's no air
from
resistance.
the
So right now the
10
capsule
4K
is not
cameras that they
subject
have aboard
to
the
inertia.
International
That's what I
Space
think. That's what I
Station.
was looking for. Yeah,
We're
it's
a
not
proud,
subject to
partner with
inertia
SEN
because
to
it
be
doesn't
able
have
to
any
use
air
their
resistance
ISS
against
cameras.
it. It's still in the
And
upper
we will see, 'cause
atmosphere.
it will be
So
in
while
roughly the
gravity
area
is basically
around the
increasing
space
its
station
speed by
as they
drawing it
return.
closer to the Earth,
We
it
will
has
see
no
if the
air
crew is able to see
resistance
anything, and of course, we will keep an
you know,
eye
for
on
it to
our
be pressing
cameras
against
here, or SEN
against
cameras, I
to
should say,
you know
to
for
see if we can see
inertia
anything as well
to
during re-entry.
counteract
Is that
the
northeast
increasing speed.
Russia?
So because
I
it's
think
still
Yes,
in
it
it,
is.
Yeah,
eventually
okay, they're
it's still in
telling
a
me in the back channel
vacuum.
that, yeah.
The gravity
I
is
know my
basically
geography.
stopping on the gas and causing it to
Yeah. So if you see the send in the
continually
corner,
go
that is from the
faster and faster
International
and
Space
faster in that
Station.
respect.
And right now you can see we are
And so
under
once
10 minutes away
once it
from
reaches
entry
once it
interface.
starts reaching like the lower atmosphere, that's when you're going to
The
start
nerves
seeing
are
the air
starting to get in
resistance
place
impact
there.
against it,
Yeah.
which will basically,
But
you
yeah,
know, which will create the
so in
inertia,
regards
which
to the,
not
you can see
inertia,
them rolling a
just
bit
just
there.
air
But yes,
resistance
for the
that will
entry
slow it
interface
down
portion, as we
while the
mentioned,
gravity is doing its thing.
that
The air resistance will then
starts at about
facilitate
400,000
basically
feet.
applying
So
the
that's,
brakes
oh,
to
this
it.
is
Ember
a view from
Paradox
inside
is
of
so
the
I was gonna say
rocket, it
cute.
looks
that
like.
capsule
I can't
image.
handle it.
How
She's just so
amazing! Because obviously
she's
we've
so
lost the
cute.
view from outside because they've jettisoned the European service
Well,
module. So it's great to be able
there's
to see
no. It's not that
even
there's
a
no
little bit from
gravity in
what's going on
space because the
inside.
reason why it's
It's a bit
increasing
of
in
a bit of
speed
a
is
reflection there
because
of
it has been
the
grabbed
orange spacesuits
by
that
Earth's
the
gravity.
crew are obviously
So,
wearing.
so the capsule is
Yes, the
subject to the
Oxytooth,
Earth's
the
gravitational
Orion Crew
pull,
Survival
which is
System
why.
suits.
Oh wow, my timer just went off.
Pumpkin
Good timing.
suits.
Did it the
Yes.
there
Yeah, we're
is
going to see
gravity
the
that
ACES
you know
suits back in the
there's a
shuttle bay.
gravitational field which is
And you could
pulling the capsule
see,
towards Earth, which is why we're saying it's increased.
trying to see
But
that's
there
the
is
camera
no
rolling or the
air. It is a
spacecraft actually
vacuum, so
doing a roll
there's no
at that point?
counteractive
I think it's the
force
camera.
to slow it down. That's why
I
we're
think
saying
that's
the
actually a
speeds continue to go
handheld
up and up
camera.
and up and up
That
and
might
up and
even
up.
be
and
the
up.
one that we've seen Reed Wiseman playing with in front of him.
Oh, really?
I'm
Looking
not.
at the
Well, I'm
spacecraft,
not
it's a little hard
necessarily
to tell,
talking about
but
lift.
Yeah.
you can see the reflection of the crew
I'm
in that
I'm not
window there.
I'm not referencing the Bernoulli principle for lit because the purpose of this is
This
not
is
like when the
amazing. 8 minutes
if
to
we were talking
go
about Bernoulli's
till they
principle,
hit the
when the
atmosphere,
capsule hits the
and then 9
atmosphere,
minutes
when
until
the
they reach
capsule
peak heating.
hits the lower atmosphere and further closer to the planet,
Isn't
if
it
we were
And around
working
that
out
point, we
Bernoulli's
are going
principle,
to
the
lose
capsule
the
would
signal
fly
from
straight back
inside
up.
the
It's not
capsule,
doing
aren't
that.
we? So
The air resistance is
is
going to function
expected.
as an air brake.
Yes, there
Yeah,
will be a
we're looking
portion
at
of 6
drag,
minutes
not
where
lift.
we will lose signal
So
because
it's
of
unless
the
does Bernoulli's
plasma
principle
engulfing the
quantify
capsule at that
drag?
point as it hits
It's been a while
that
since I
hot
looked
part
at
of
it.
re-entry,
Since I looked at
and
that.
as parts of the heat
Um,
shield, which are designed to
How
burn
bad would the
away,
noise
do
and
burn
shaking type
away.
gaps be?
Just to put
Shaking
in
probably
perspective
extensive.
between entry
The shaking would
interface
probably
and Orion
be
becoming
extensive.
subsonic, basically
The
being under the
noise?
speed of sound, that is 9 minutes.
Good question.
So it's gonna be 9 minutes going from incredibly high speeds to just below
We
the
see
speed
the
of
same on
sound.
board, Jackie.
If Artemis runs out of fuel, will I jump in and help them out? Well,
And they will
considering
spend
they
about
don't
half
use
of the time
considering they don't
during
use
their
fuel,
re-entry
I
out of
don't think I
communications, so 6 of the 13
unfortunately I
minutes.
do not have an oxygen lipic controller.
They're
I
now
only
in
have a
entry
There's
fuel
interface
the-
lipic
attitude.
controller.
There's the Earth.
Because their maneuvering thrusters are basically
Step
working off.
37,
It's not
transferring
it's
that
not
state
like
to BFS.
solid fuel. It's
That's
basically
that Earth light we've
unless
been
things
hearing
have changed,
about
they're
so much
basically
across this
using
entirety of the mission.
oxygen. They're using liquid oxygen that
It's
shoots
so
out of
bright.
jets as their maneuvering
That's how
thrusters.
bright it is.
Unless that's changed. So unless the
Amazing.
methodology has
Now,
changed.
hopefully, about 20 minutes and 20 seconds from now,
Basically, yeah, following the style.
you will
Yeah,
have this crew safely
basically.
bobbing in the Pacific Ocean.
509. We are not below 0.2.
It updated.
Animation catching up.
Integrity.
Yeah.
It's
no
crazy to
action
look at that.
required.
And I
was gonna say
played. It's
distance
been
from the
I
Earth
played.
and
It's
how
been a
quickly we
long
would
road
come
for
back
the
down
launch.
to-
When we watched the launch, I played that music. They're using hydrazine for the RCS prop.
Alright.
Okay, they're using
Under 20
hydrazine.
minutes
Okay,
now
I wasn't
until
sure. The last I
Splashdown.
remember hearing about
About
was they were
6
using
minutes
like
to go
liquid oxygen
until
for
we
the
get
RCS prop. I didn't know
into
if that had changed or not.
re-entry. Here, the crew doing all their final checks. The crew got suited up a couple hours ago.
Hydrazine over
into
catalyst that
their,
breaks down the
the
hydrazine.
pumpkin suits
Oh,
like we
okay.
were talking about there.
Cool.
You can see the reflection of them in the top of that window as they near Earth, now under 1,000 kilometers in altitude approximately.
Yeah.
I gotta ask this: is that the moon?
No, they're
They
facing
did
down. That would
mention
be
that
the
they
Earth.
could see the moon, and
Because I
that
see
it was
that.
going
that
out
There's
the
the
window.
window.
moon.
And that's
Yeah.
when they said, I guess we'll have to go back.
I think that's the moon. Right there, I think.
Let's see.
I thought it was like a smudge on the window or something, but it's
No, but
being
I'm
too fixed there.
amazed we have this view at the moment here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
5 minutes until re-entry.
Hey, we're gonna lose signal when
Which
they
means
hit
we're about 5
re-entry.
minutes
So
from losing that signal, correct?
About 6-ish minutes, but yeah. Anyway, so yes, it will encounter entry interface at 122 kilometers or 76 miles up, traveling over 38,000 kilometers an hour or just under 24,000 miles per hour. Not a speed record, but close. And then reach that
EI downloads.
peak.
not a bad comms delay either. 24 millisecond
Houston
comm delay.
concur.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Then reach
Wow.
that peak heating
Wow.
about a minute after. It will dip into the atmosphere, a small bump upwards. It will do some roll reversals to help slow
Yeah,
itself down.
once they get
Crew
through
experiencing a
the
max
oh
load, all
wow.
goes well, of just under
Oh,
4
look at
Gs.
that.
And then begins the parachute deploy sequence, of which 11
Look at
total
that
parachutes
view.
over different times and uses will be deployed, including ones for the forward bay cover, the ones to help bring out the drogue chutes, and then the ones that will be used to bring out the 3 main chutes.
Yeah,
Under 4
basically
minutes to go.
once they get through
Gorgeous
effectively
live views
speaking
of
like
the Earth from
through
on
ballot
board
converter and the
Orion.
ozone
And if you've
layer,
seen the
which
views
is
from the
which
International
will engulf
Space
the
Station
entire
comparison,
capsule and
you
plasma.
could really
Once
get
they're
an idea
clear of
of the
that, that's
speed
when
at this
comms come
point.
back online.
Mhm.
Yeah, already getting close to that altitude of the ISS now.
Definitely not flat.
Yes, the ISS
Surely
is about
100.
True story, JRC.
250-ish or 400-ish kilometers up in altitude.
Slight delay in camera.
It's just going so much faster than the ISS.
ISS going 17,500 miles per hour. This will be going just under 24,000 when it hits the atmosphere.
Yikes.
Currently around that right now, according to
Yep.
the numbers we're seeing on screen.
Under 3 minutes. We're now about
Why-
16 and a half minutes.
I wonder if
home.
we're gonna start seeing the heat before we lose before we go
Everything appears to be
blackout.
looking good
If
so
we'll see
far.
like the heat
Crew has
and
been
the
in great
plasma
spirits this
coming
whole
up around the
time.
capsule.
All suited up, ready to go.
Ready to
Again,
get
there will-
home.
There will be a slight loss of signal, of which we will lose this video, and we will keep an eye out and wait for that reacquisition of signal. There are multiple aerial assets out at sea in the Pacific near where this will be splashing down. This again splashing down off the coast of San Diego, although a bit farther out in the Pacific Ocean. So there's a chance that maybe someone will see it, but highly unlikely that you'd be able to see it from California at this point.
I might add that those crews that are going to be part of the recovery team have been working on this for years and are well
No, you
prepared.
cannot
There's going
like
to be a
the
crew
plasma.
of divers that meet them, along with inflatable
Honestly,
dinghies,
even if
boats,
it did land in the
with the
city, it'll
helicopter
have the
team that's
chutes
being
deployed
sent
and it'll
out there
just
from
float
the
on
Combat
down.
Squadron 23, from the helicopter Sea Combat Squadron 23, should I say.
Yep, hearing integrity systems are in good shape. No issues with the vehicle or crew, and the weather in their splashdown
It's
location.
getting faster.
as
You
we
can
heard
see this.
earlier,
It's increasing in
looks
speed.
Good. Scattered clouds at 10,000 feet. Very light
We're getting
winds
closer,
at
and you
7
can
knots.
see it speeding up in this footage.
Everything looking good at this point. And yeah, as you pointed out, The USS John P. Murtaugh is ready to recover the crew and the capsule downrange. We have the helicopters, WB-57, and other aerial assets out in the range to try and catch video of Orion once it returns. Now below the altitude of the ISS, a minute to go until peak heating.
I mean, that's kind of what
peak
Elon's
heating, 1 minute to
working
go
on, so that like
until
with
entry
the
interface.
retrieval stuff, that it can guide itself directly back in.
NSF, we
Who
wish
knows
the
if
crew
in
Artemis 2
maybe not in the not too
Godspeed.
distant
1
future,
minute to
Good
the
luck.
capsule
8
will be
blackout.
able to land right on the deck of a carrier.
Integrity.
There we go.
Reed, Victor, Christina, Jeremy, looking forward to having you home. 30 seconds to go until that point.
Hey, come on.
These views are
Come
just
on.
incredible, aren't they?
Enjoying them while we
Yep.
have them, that's for
Look
sure.
at that.
Yeah, once entry interface is hit, the blackout will not be instant. It'll take about 25 seconds or so after that to hit the moment where they would lose radio communication.
Yep, hopefully we'll get to see some of that plasma before it blocks out the signal here. That is our numbers disappearing on the top of the screen. That is not NASA losing any data from the spacecraft. That's just our animation that we had at the top.
Okay.
Wow. There we go.
Orion
Rotation.
orienting
Okay.
itself here now.
Okay. Here we go.
Getting ready to go through
Oh,
the
you can see
atmosphere.
the
There
burst.
You
You
can
can
see the
plasma on the right.
flames. Look at that. Look at that.
Coming
You
up
can
shortly
see.
on
You can
that
see the
expected loss
glow.
of signal. Plasma starting to engulf the window.
Nice.
Every second of signal that we get is bonus here.
Amazing. Okay, and there it
And
goes.
it's
And there
gone.
it goes.
And there we go.
All right, there's signal loss. Okay, expected.
Capsule now about to reach temperatures of 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit or 3,000
Why?
degrees Celsius. For reference, the surface
Right.
of the sun is
Fingers
10,000
crossed.
degrees Fahrenheit. And you can see there from the from the NASA tracking site that we've had all the way through here, through this whole mission. Obviously, they
Hey.
also are losing some of that live data.
46
given
miles up.
that it is engulfed in the plasma. Right now, the abcoat blocks underneath Orion, absorbing most of that heat and burning away the ablative material on the end. So part of that heat shield is designed to burn away intentionally. It looks like we have aerial assets already catching it.
Oh my
There we
god.
go.
Wow.
Should be
Oh
already
my
peak
God.
heating, by the way.
That's it right
They
there.
hit that about a minute and a half into the reentry.
Holy
So
crap.
already in that period of peak heating.
12 minutes ago until splashdown.
Come on.
Again, amazing that we already
Come on,
have some
get
of those
through it.
aerial assets starting to catch it from this far away.
Well, that was the camera
A reminder
bouncing
that
all over
when
the
it
place trying to
hits
stay
the,
steady. I'm sure it
atmosphere
was
there
being
at the
captured
400,000
from a
feet mark,
vessel
it
of some
was
sort. So that was the
still,
camera, not the
2,000 statute miles
Orion
or
bouncing around.
3,150 kilometers away from its splashdown area. And a reminder, we are currently in a loss of signal, which is why you see the animation. There is no audio or video from inside the capsule
On.
with the crew at this point.
The camera's on
The
G5.
plasma
Okay.
blocking those signals.
Come on.
We've got that countdown clock coming in with the acquisition of signal when we're expecting to hear from the crew again in about 4 minutes' time.
Come on.
And again, that is approximate time. So
Yeah.
the acquisition of signal, if it doesn't reacquire exactly at 0, that's fine.
Don't panic.
Sometimes it can even
Exactly.
be earlier. We
No,
got a
signal
few
loss.
more
This is the
seconds
approximate
there of
signal loss time.
Even when
Right
when they
there. That's the
predicted
approximate
a
signal
loss
loss
of
time.
signal earlier. So hey, look, we can even get that acquisition of signal even earlier than predicted.
Exactly.
Yeah, oh God, you're right. Yes, I have my glass here and I've got my screech here. I'm gonna pour a celebration shot.
Now about 50 miles in altitude at this
Thank you
point.
thank you for reminding me.
P3 has acquisition of integrity, one of the assets.
And now you can see it's doing that
This thing is
slight
cooking.
raise. If you look at the
Literally.
altitude there, that was going in, and now it's going to slightly come out of the atmosphere a bit, but not as dramatic as we saw during Artemis 1.
The Easter Bunny hop, we should call that.
Okay, so they're doing a skip. Okay.
And again, these are
On.
estimated numbers at this point, not exact.
We're still just under 3 minutes away from getting that acquisition of signal back, approximately. And we'll know a little more from what's going on with the crew.
Okay,
There we
there's
go. Now
another
you can
good
see
animation.
some of the numbers there in the bottom right.
And we're expecting the deployment
Okay.
of those parachutes at around 35,000 feet. Obviously, we'll see the drogue first, the drogues, before we see the rest of the parachutes deploy.
Yes, as pointed out, there's the cover
Yeah,
that
they,
has been
yeah, they,
protecting
you
the
can see they're
parachutes
getting art because
from
they're
the
doing a
vacuum of
skip.
space.
That's what
And,
that's
that
why we're
forward
seeing
big
the
cover has
altitude
3
increasing is
parachutes of
because
its
they're doing a
own
skip.
for it to fall away from the capsule. Then that will be followed by 2 drogue chutes that will deploy right after that cover separates. That will help slow integrity down. Those will go for about a minute, and then those will be cut, and then 3 pilot parachutes will then
I thought they
All
said
of
that
what
they
I
were
said
doing a
is-
skip.
Have a visual on integrity. So
That's incredible.
They are now looking at it. There we go.
Yep, WB-57 also has the visual. Hopefully we will get that imagery as well.
Maybe I
shortly.
misunderstood them. I thought they said that they were doing
As you
doing
saw
a
from before, it's probably
doing
quite shaky,
like an
so it's probably
atmospheric
quite
skip.
difficult to see on a screen like this. But they've got the visual. That's what's the important part.
There we
You can
go.
see the-
Yeah.
See the velocity going down as well.
Oh wow, look at that.
Under 14,000
Look at how
miles
fast
an
that's
hour.
going down.
Should we comment up on that?
That's hitting the
Acquisition of
atmosphere.
signal in about a minute and 20 seconds from
So
now.
that's
could be a
indicating
little bit
they've hit
earlier,
the
could be a
lower
little bit
atmosphere
later,
and
it
they're now
depends.
experiencing air resistance.
Yep, all approximate.
Yep.
But so far, so good. We are still just about 8 minutes away from that
Yep,
splashdown.
exactly. Yeah, the
when we're
G's are
expecting
kicking
it to
in. The
reach
air
the Pacific
resistance
Ocean.
is buffering against the front, buffering against the ship, slowing it down.
ISS is
And you
also
can see how
approaching the
fucking
splashdown
fast
area
atmosphere slows a ship
overhead,
down
so we'll
like
see
this.
if we get anything from that as well.
Kind of makes sense why an Elite Dangerous when you're flying at
Again,
you
this
know at
obviously
light
still
speed
a
and you hit
visualization
atmosphere,
and
it brings
animation
you
at
to a
this
dead
point.
stop.
Hopefully we will start getting actual video signals shortly, and we should be hearing from the crew in
There we
approximately
go. That
30
should be the
seconds or so.
termination
Again,
line, I
if
think.
it's a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, don't worry.
We are now processing data from integrity.
Okay.
Let's listen in.
That's Rob Navius,
on.
NASA Communications, that you hear the voice of. Sounds like they're getting data from the spacecraft. Hopefully we get to hear from the crew.
Yeah, we're waiting for that
Landing
signal
and
to
support officer
reestablish.
reports the small boats are en route to the splashdown target zone.
That
What's
looks
that?
like the WB-57. Or one of the aerial assets with the infrared view.
Is that? It doesn't seem like it's a live feed. Seems like a still shot. Yeah, it was an
Coming up
IR
in
image,
less
but
than
it looked
7
like a still
minutes till the
shot.
splashdown time.
And all times
Yeah.
approximate.
Passing through 150,000 feet, our trajectory is perfect.
Oh.
We're getting intermittent views of integrity. Still waiting to establish
Okay.
voice communication.
Look how hot that is coming in.
Jesus.
Really get an idea
Integrity,
of the heat.
Houston, com check, post blackout.
Houston, Integrity, we have you loud and clear.
Yes.
Let's
Your
go.
trajectory
Yes.
is
The moment we all
nominal,
breathe a sigh
and
of
your
relief.
recovery teams have visual.
Guidance looks good.
No action for the enabled internal camera controller fail.
Big cheers from the viewing room here in Mission Control as voice communication reestablished with Commander Reed Wiseman.
Sounds like he lost the internal
For
cameras.
America and a waiting world, integrity is 5.5 minutes away from coming home.
Now let's see those parachutes. Come on. Should be in a few minutes from now.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
still a
hard to
couple
see
minutes
these
away. Again,
parachutes
you
in the
can see from
IR.
this
The heat
infrared
is
view just the
blinding.
heat.
Range to splashdown 19 nautical miles.
Ryan should be subsonic very soon now.
Yep.
You can see just how bright it is on our screens. All that plasma still wrapping around
Come
the
on.
capsule.
If you have
Come
epilepsy, you may
on.
want to look away for a few
Yeah.
minutes. We'll let you know when the flashing stops.
Not our thing. This is NASA.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, this
it's
is-
exact.
that's
There we go.
NASA's camera. We do
Integrity
apologize.
there
impact
we
to
go.
the camera controller fail is no cab 1 views of the chutes.
You can look away. You can look back now for those
Holy shit!
with the flash. You can see the details in
We're
the capsule
processing
there.
good data through the GPS
Whoa.
system. A good view of integrity. Time to splash down 4.5 minutes.
Look at that!
Should be coming up in that
Holy
forward bay cover
fuck!
jettison.
And a
in
view
less
of integrity from the
half a minute.
WB-57. We're at 50,000 feet.
Again, it was around 35,000 feet. We're expecting those
50,000
parachutes to
feet.
start to deploy. It's around the height that you are flying at in a normal passenger plane. Here we go. I think I
See some
just
of
saw.
the heat coming off of it as it came back from
Yeah,
that
I
fiery
think that
re-entry.
was vapor trail.
So the top
Through
will
the-
come off. That cover that protects the parachutes.
There we
Pyros
go.
are
Now,
on
oh,
for
look at
forward
that
bay cover
view.
jettison.
Look at that view.
There we go.
And that cover itself has its own parachutes to move it away from the capsule, and that will be followed
on,
by the
come on.
deployment of those
Top.
drogue chutes.
Pop. There it goes.
Here
There we
Shoots
go.
out.
And there go the first
There
series
goes the
of
cover with its
parachutes.
chutes.
And we're on drogues.
Okay,
And
okay,
Houston, we're
good,
visual 2 drogues out the window.
good, good, good.
2 good drogue
Each of
chutes.
those
Come on.
Coming up on the mains.
Next up,
We
Each
copy,
about
we see
23
'em.
feet, 7 meters in diameter.
next up, the deployment of pilot parachutes that will pull the main chutes out. Time to splash down 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
Come on.
Amazing imagery here.
Yep.
This is incredible.
Spacecraft still at quite the
Perfect
speed,
descent
but it will
rate
be slowing
according to
down.
flight dynamics.
Good rate on 2 drogues.
We see the same on board.
What?
You can see it's well below the tracking plane.
Yes, it will be going down to a speed of 19 miles per hour. At
There we go.
touchdown,
Passing through
right splashdown.
10,000 feet. Still on drogues.
Yeah,
Okay.
the mains separate about 6,000, 5,000 feet in altitude.
Yeah, you
Should be
don't want them
coming up
out.
soon.
Don't want them out too
Well,
early.
yeah, they're-
They can break.
Whoa.
There we go.
There's
There
the
we go.
cut. There's the deployment of the mains.
Come
Main
on.
chute deploy.
Open up, god damn
It'll
it.
take a minute to
We're
fully.
at 5,000.
Oh god, this
Inflate.
streamer.
There we go.
Come on, come
All three
on.
looking good.
Search and
Briefing.
recovery
There we
feature
go.
has been activated on integrity.
And
There we go.
full
We have
deployment.
3 good main
Beautiful.
chutes.
Full deployment.
Good 3 main chutes. Good reefing.
Concurs
Good descent rate.
good rates, and we see 3 good-looking
There we
parachutes.
go. There we go.
Those are each 116 feet or 35 meters in diameter.
There we go.
265 feet or 80 meters long.
Oh
and
god.
each one
Integrity.
weighs
Cabin
300
pressure indicates
pounds.
no need for hydrazine checks.
Integrity capsule.
Yeah, believe same. When I
there's
saw
no
that
leaking,
streamer, my heart
hyperbolic
went into
fuels.
my
This is a
throat.
Good.
Perfect descent for integrity.
Oh
Its crew sounding hale and hearty on
god,
board.
my heart is just my freaking heart is just racing
Time
right
to
now.
splash down 1 minute 15 seconds.
I'm thinking
You
the
can tell your
lean
friends
may
of
be
the crew have
okay.
been messaging me saying they were holding their breath for that blackout moment. We all knew it was coming, but there's something very disheartening to know that your friends are on board there waiting for that moment for
Integrity about to
reconnection.
complete
And when
a
they
Yeah.
journey
heard them,
spanning
wow.
690,
Yeah, but then
481 miles from its launch from the Kennedy Space Center back on April 1st, and a trip around the moon.
That's about 1,117,659 kilometers if you use metric.
Again, those
Had
3
that
main
number already.
parachutes helping to slow the spacecraft down. It's still going to be a
Flares?
bit of a jolt to the crew on the actual splashdown itself. Oh, you can see
Using
some
those
of the
maybe
burning
flares?
off there of
Yeah.
those hypergolics, it looks like. Totally fine.
As expected.
Passing
Exactly.
through 1,000 feet.
I mean, thrusters wouldn't do anything for them. They're in ATMO right now. Sure, what that
Approximately
is.
15 seconds to splashdown. It's going to feel a bit like getting into a
That's what I was
car
figuring. It was
accident, but
flares for the boats
considering
to
that
track
they
it.
were
That's what I
just
figured.
13 minutes ago traveling at 24,000 miles per hour, this is quite impressive. And again, as we said, that time in the top left was estimated. It obviously varies depending
It wouldn't be
on
thrusters
exact reentry
to
profile,
slow Splashdown because they're
winds,
going in the wrong
and all of
direction.
that.
They'd be speeding him up.
Closing in now. Let's see the splashdown.
You think they're thrusters?
Houston,
You think those were exhaust
Splashdown,
plumes?
sending post-landing
Here we
command
go.
now.
Splashdown confirmed.
They're down!
Copy Splashdown.
They're
Waiting
down!
on VLDR.
Splashdown confirmed at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time. From the pages
Orientation,
of Jules
okay,
Verne
gotcha.
to a modern-day mission to the moon, a new chapter of the exploration of our celestial neighbor is complete. Integrity's astronauts back on Earth.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Absolutely
baby.
amazing.
And the landing and support
kilometers.
officer reports the vehicle is stable 1. We still will be deploying the crew module uprighting system to maintain that orientation. A perfect
Hey.
bullseye splashdown for Integrity and its 4 astronauts.
Yes!
Stable 1 means the capsule
I'm
is
holding on my shot,
upright.
Will. Actually, it might be a
Obviously, it's
while
gonna
before
take a
they can
moment.
get
They're
them
not
out,
going
so...
rushing in too quickly to recover the crew. They've got to give it a little bit of time to settle.
It is, as you pointed out, going to take a couple of minutes. You saw some of that hypergolic propellants and things venting out, clearing out all of the lines. Of course, they want to make sure that is all safe.
That's what it was. They were
You will
clearing
see
out the
giant
lines.
balloons start to
Okay, they were
inflate, as
basically they were
talking about, which is part of the
purging.
crew uprighting system. So that way they are in stable 1, meaning
The
that the capsule is
unofficial
upright.
splashdown time, 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m. Central Time. We'll get that refined for you. That would put the end of the mission at a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 31 minutes, 35 seconds.
So a little less than what they were originally guesstimating.
Holy
And
cow.
we're
They were
configuring
seeing
for
very
variable
low.
Thank
data
you,
rate.
voice. I was gonna save it till
Obviously,
they
getting
actually
live
pop the
videos
doors,
looks
but
like over
honestly,
there.
it might be like
In
an
the
hour
Pacific,
before they pop the
south
doors.
of-
So chat,
southwest of San Diego.
raise
at
your
7:07 and
glasses.
47 seconds p.m.
Raise your glasses.
Integrity,
Here
Houston,
is to
contract
a
on VLDR.
successful landing.
That's what I
They
was waiting for,
are
that view
home.
from the
Houston, we have you loud
USS
and clear on
John
VLDR.
Murtaugh.
Cheers.